As I was setting up for this video, I felt eyes on me, so I had to get a shot of who was watching. And here are our ingredients: rose petals, peppermint leaves, and a mixture of basil and rose petals for 3 separate batches of simple syrup. We've got water, and those are the bowls where the herbs are, and mixed basil, and sugar. It's all very simple. That's why they call it simple syrup. Hey, Lisa here at our Georgia Suburban Homestead. Today we're making simple syrup. What is simple syrup? Simple syrup is simply sugar syrup with some sort of herb flavoring in it. And today we're making 3 kinds. One is just pure peppermint, and one is rose, and then the third one is rose and basil. And the basil was grown here, and the roses were grown here on the homestead organically. The basil is a blend of lemon basil, cinnamon basil, and Genovese basil, which is quite lovely as a combined basil flavor. But it's really quite easy to do. All you need is sugar, water, and your herb. Now, what percentage herb to sugar water? We're going to do 1 cup of rose leaves that have been dried. To 2 cups of sugar. Just very simply pour that into your saucepan. And you do equal amounts of water. Okay? Easy peasy. And you turn on a medium to medium high heat to get everything boiling, and that just takes a couple minutes. So what you want to do is you want to stir. Stir it so it won't burn, and just keep stirring while the sugar melts. And you see the little dark bits that are floating in there? I just made the peppermint simple syrup in this batch, so evidently there's a leaf or 2 left in the pot that I just rinsed out. It's pretty clear, and at this point you take your rose or peppermint or whatever it is that you're using to flavor it with, and you stir that until the rose petals are submerged in the sugar water solution. Now we're going to let that come to a bubble. You set the timer for 2 minutes. And turn it down to simmer instead of boil. You want it just lightly simmering and not a rolling boil. You see how that's doing that along that edge? Just little bubbles. 2 minutes. Listen, it's playing our song. Okay, so now we turn the heat off and we let it totally cool. And we strain it and put it in the bottle it's going to live in. And this will stay in the refrigerator and still taste good for up to 3 weeks. Got to keep it chilled. But I use it at 2 tablespoons at a time in either just ice water, ginger ale, any type of tea that you make. You don't need any other sweetener. And but it's quite pleasant, quite pleasant. And I guess I don't need to tell you, the longer you let it sit with the rose petals in it, or the whatever herb, the peppermint, whatever, the stronger the flavor will be. But the rose simple syrup is very delicate, so it's wonderful. So ratios. When I make the basil rose syrup, I use 1/4 cup of the basil mix, and then I use 1/2 cup of the rose petals. So you want equal amounts of herb to sugar to water. Okay? So the peppermint, I used a cup of peppermint, cup of sugar, cup of water. This was a little bit more than a cup of rose petals, but the same amount of sugar and water. So that's how you do it. Next step, sifting, straining the herbs out, and I'll show you what I do with the herbs. I don't throw them away. But stay tuned, I'll be right with you. Alright, at this point I felt more eyes on me, and there was Lulu, so I had to go let her in because it had started to rain. They glare at you and then the kitchen window when they want in. It's very clear what they want. So here are the 3 bottles we're putting the syrup in. And I used this wonderful funnel. It was a great investment, especially for projects like this. So first one we're going to do is the rose. Now, my first batch of rose, we only got a little bit out of, and I went ahead and made a larger batch, and that's what I filled the process for, instead of showing me make all 3. Well, that's the strainer. It fits right in on top of the funnel. And you put that in your long neck bottle and grab whatever it is you're pouring in and pour it in. Can you tell how thick and viscous that is? So now I'm going to reach in and get all those rose petals out of that pot. And I'm not sure. I use my hands. My hands are clean. Been washed several times in this process. And then I'm going to simply mash and squeeze all the moisture I can out of those rose petals. And you just keep twisting it and pinching it and twist it and pinch it. And you'd be surprised how much moisture will come out when you think that you've done a good job. There's still a lot more to come out. So I'm not going to throw these petals away. If you stick around, you'll see what I do with them. On the wax paper, on a plate. Here we go. I'm going to take that ball and break it into several pieces and kind of roll it into its own little ball. And I put that on the plate. I don't like to waste anything. And if there's a use for whatever you do, even the byproduct, I like to find it. So, at this point, the cat decided she'd play a cat joke and jumped up and grabbed the camera, and that's what's left of it on the floor. For some reason, it kept recording, but the mic turned off. Okay, because the camera shattered when the cat played her cat joke, you didn't get to see me take these herbs once I'd strained them and squeezed all the syrup out, and I just rolled them into little pieces and put them on wax paper. Now this may take a day or two to dry, but they'll dry into kind of a hard candy type thing that they may not look good, but they do taste good. So use every bit of what you got, right? Good deal. Well, in the middle of filming this, Lulu decided she'd play a joke and grab the camera and pull it to the floor, and it came apart in pieces. So now I've got my phone, but I can't hold the phone and use my hands to cook. So, let me see if you can fill in the blanks yourself. Got a nice bottle of peppermint simple syrup. I've got the bottle of rose and basil, which tastes great, by the way. I licked my fingers. And I've got just a little bit of the rose. I'm going to have to cook up some more here in a moment. But basically, I've been steeping some green tea. And I'm going to fill this dipper with half with the peppermint and half with the rose, because peppermint and rose pair well. I'll show you what I do. Hold on just a second. So there's the simple syrup. That might work. So a number of different disasters happened in this video. Keep watching to see what's next. Okay. Bon appetit. Gosh, that's good. Like what you see? You know what to do. See you next time. So we had a shattered camera, shattered glass at the ice machine, and a shattered bottle of simple syrup. I knocked the tall, slender bottle with the basil and rose simple syrup in it onto the floor, and it shattered. So that was a productive video, wasn't it? Have a good day.